Great edits, though, Eddie.
Welcome to Two Nobodies with the Mic. Consider say, great job, 49ers!
The five best players ever in the NBA, Kobe Bryant is not one of them.
Probably, you can't say anyone that he doesn't belong in the league.
Give me that amount of money, and I'll do whatever you want me to do. Josh Allen will never make the playoffs again.
The SEC is straight trash.
This fool was a crumb up.
Oh, he was in one of those vests?
Yeah. What's up, everybody, and welcome to Two Nobodies with the Mic, episode 127. Guys, we are back from break. We all had some stuff to do, but welcome back. Thank you for sticking around, guys. We are live on Instagram. We are live on YouTube. Want to say what's up to Rafa. Rafa back from March Madness. How was it, Papa?
Yeah.
Oh, it was insane. Insane madness.
Awesome. I'll ask you more about it. Eddie Money, executive producers in the house. How you doing, man?
Feeling good. Spring break has officially begun.
Oh, good for you. Good for you. But guys, we are the gambling show of record, and there is a ton of stuff to gamble on, to talk about. We have NFL. Obviously, March Madness. I just came back from Philadelphia at Matt Madness. That was amazing. But let us know what you guys want to talk about. But we only have one rule on this show, and that is not to be a loser. And if you bet on all the favorites, you definitely were not a loser this weekend. We'll see how that goes. But Rafa, any stories? Any good stories from Vegas? Like any guys walking in at 10 o'clock and surprised that there's no seats to watch a fucking game at the
Oh, that
Bellagio
happens.
bar.
That happens all the time, man. It's like
Isn't it
even
insane,
at
right?
9:15, like the first tip, and there's a guy like, "Oh, I didn't think it would be this packed." What the fuck did you think?
Yeah.
What did you
Yeah.
think? By the way, the Bellagio needs to get like they're so bad at scheduling bartenders for that day over
Well,
at
no
the
one
bar.
No
Well,
one
no
wants
one wants to work.
it.
No one wants to work. So Brian, who's been working there forever, right?
Yes.
He doesn't want to work it, so he takes it off all the time. But the
Is it that bad?
you know,
Like,
oh,
people
dude,
just camp or what?
the
Oh.
problem is that the people. So you get it's just people are fucking, oh, let me have this, let me have that all over the bar, right? And then they don't tip. So it's like at the end of the day, it kind of sucks
Yeah.
for them, right? Because it's all
Yeah.
that work, and then the tips are trash. And then what we would do for the last handful of years is we'd have so many drink tickets that when a guy would come and grab beer, we'd give him a drink ticket. Like, hey, we're going to give you a drink ticket so you don't have to pay for the beer. Tip the guys. So instead of the
Yes.
motherfucker is going to pay $12 for a beer, he ends up pulling out like $1. Like, bro, we just saved you $12. Give the guy $5 and go on.
Yeah, give him a
Like,
$5. Go straight to him.
exactly. Because then you can get, if you come back and that way you take care of the guys. Because they save our seats. They shouldn't, but they do. We take care of the guys. The night shift dude, Ben, who runs he has the graveyard shift. So he runs all the way until 10 a.m. Dude, he had no help on Thursday morning. Like literally the entire bar, all the way around, because the guy called in sick who was supposed to help him. God forbid they pull someone from another fucking bar. The Bellagio needs to understand that everyone that morning is at the sports book. Their other bars.
Insane. That's crazy.
It was brutal.
Let me ask you this, because Vegas is getting. What's up, Zach? How you doing, man? Let me ask you this, because I haven't been to Vegas in quite a while. I feel like it's been at least 6 months, which is not usual for me. But I keep on hearing the ratios for drink tickets before March Madness, when I went, 25, 30 years ago, you hand the waitress $50 and you drink all freaking day for free. And that, not even at the bar, just sitting somewhere. In years past, you bet $100, you get maybe 1 or 2 drink tickets. Now, I've heard like $500 for one drink ticket. What's the ratio now, Rafa?
So at the Bellagio, we used to always have like books of fucking drink tickets. Like literally, they wouldn't stamp them. We'd carry them over. Plus, we're betting together, so the bets are like $1,500 a game. Shit like that. So now this year, first bet, walk up to the window, 2,000. The guy gives me 4 drink tickets.
Get the F out of here.
Wait. So he gives me 4 drink tickets. I go back. We look at some. I'm like, all right, you know what? We're gonna go back. I go back, but I think we bet like 1,200. No more drink tickets. The guy tells me you only get 4 max a day.
What?
At max a day at the Bellagio, which I assume that it probably the same for all the MGMs. So on Friday, we actually went to Caesar's Palace on Friday. We were there at Caesar's. The drink tickets there at Caesar's, totally different. I literally cashed our first winner, and because my buddy went to place to bet, we went and cashed it. And when we went to cash it, I gave the guy $20. Because he only gave my buddy 2 drink tickets the first time, right? For a $50 bet. Cashed the ticket, gave him $20, printed me 7. He opened his drawer, gave me 7 drink tickets. Went back, another bet with the same guy.
Yeah.
Another 5 drink tickets. So Caesars was totally different, but the Bellagio, max 4 drink tickets per day.
So the rumor is true then, basically, for the higher end casinos. That's just.
I forgot where I went when I was in Vegas last time. I went another time after with you guys, and I put in a $1,000 bet. I only got 2 drink tickets.
Yeah, that was probably Bellagio.
Listen,
or an MGM property.
It was rough. Yeah, it was an MGM property.
That's just crazy, man. That Vegas is forgetting who they were or who they are. It used to be about customer service, treating you right, and now like they treat you like a peasant. I don't know, whatever. That's
and then the parking's a pain in the ass because you have to pay for the parking, right?
Yeah.
But if at MGM, I think it's gold or and above. At Caesars, I think it's the same. So we don't pay for parking there, but still, it's still a pain in the ass. If you don't have the card on you, oh no, I got it on the app. Oh no, I need the physical card. You got to go and get a fucking card. It's a shit show. It's a shit show. Oh, dude, they're such a pain in the ass. Like, I was disappointed as fuck with the Bellagio.
What about you?
I couldn't get my car out.
That's crazy. Did you watch it anywhere special? Did you go to like Locals?
I was working my bar while watching it. I was working.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. I was in Philadelphia at Matt Madness. For those of you who don't know, that is the wrestling version. Same exact times, same exact date, but it's all held in one arena. And great time, amazing atmosphere. 47 was there for the finals. He showed up and you know, I would say 70% cheers, 30% boos, but he was a rock star, you know, and anyone who brings attention, you know, especially for the president to come to an event like that and shine the spotlight on wrestling. It was great. It was great for wrestling. And he took pictures with every All-American. And it was just a really cool event. And Penn State, again, wins it. I think they're 12th in 13 years or some crazy shit like that. It's a monopoly over there in State College. But every show we do a segment called You're Fired. Let's get into You're Fired. And if you guys want to participate, go ahead. Let us know, Zach, who you want to fire. And who wants to start with You're Fired?
I'm gonna start. I'm gonna fire this fucking bitch at the ballet at the Bellagio, and I'll tell you why. So I have a room at the Bellagio. I gave it to my buddy. It's a comp room. So on the room is my car, right? The car that I was driving, which is a car off of my lot, has a dealer plate on it, and so it's not registered to me because I own the dealership. It's got a fucking dealer plate on it, but the car is registered to the room. So I'm staying at the Fontainebleau, but we go to the Bellagio, watch the games, whatever. I leave the Bellagio. I'm trying to get my car at the Bellagio, but I didn't bring the ticket with me. So I tell her, listen, the car's to my room. And she's like, oh, but you don't have the ticket. I said, no. I said, but, you know, the car is to my room. Look up the room.
Yeah.
She goes, yeah, but I need the registration of the car to be under your name. I said, listen, I'm driving the car. This is the license plate on the car. And in the car, when you open the trunk, there's a set of golf clubs in the trunk. And if you open the center console, there's this, and that in the center console. She goes, yeah, it doesn't matter. So I literally had to fucking I took a cab back to Fontainebleau, and I left my car there.
That is insane.
She wouldn't give me my fucking car. And the car is built to the room that is under my name. That's comped. I texted my host, and he's like, oh, you know, what a bitch. And I'm like, yeah, 100%.
That is just, man.
Yeah, she was a miserable fucking lesbian bitch is what it was.
There you go, Rafa.
So that's what I'm firing.
That's
what I'm firing. 100%. 100%. I was fucking pissed, dude.
Yeah, that's kind of ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Eddie Money, any hirings or firings?
I got a hiring, and I think it kind of connects with what Eddie's gonna go with. So I'll kind of lead into yours. I'm gonna hire LeBron going on Pat McAfee's podcast. That was like the most comfortable interview I've ever seen him do. Like, he was just so laid back and like willing to talk about everything and anything they asked him. It just seemed like he was like in like you were having a conversation with him in your own living room. It was like, it's good to see him in another light that like usually the media doesn't put him in.
You know, I feel like he's getting a lot better at that. I've said this a couple times now, where he's becoming human, you know, dropping F-bombs and just being like one of the guys. You know, before it was a whole persona of, you know, the majesty, the king, the chosen one, and the image. And at this point, he's so comfortable with who he is. He's just being himself.
Yeah. He actually made fun of himself because towards the end of the interview, one of the guys asked him about when he reads the books, like why he's always on the first page. So Pat McAfee gave him a new book, and he flipped to the first page, and they were like, "Oh, take a picture," because now he finished the book.
Oh man, it's so good.
So he's
It's
able
so
like
good.
to laugh at himself at the memes that people make. It's funny. Also,
Yeah.
there's like on TikTok, there's a whole like genre of music being made about LeBron. I don't know if you guys have seen that or not.
I've seen
No.
it. I've seen it. I've seen it.
So yeah, so people will remix songs and add LeBron James lyrics.
Oh
Yeah, I've
my
seen it.
goodness.
I've
that's
seen
freaking
Jacob send
crazy.
it. Jacob send it in the group
Yeah,
chat.
Jacob's
Did he?
right. It's funny as hell.
Yeah,
That's great.
I like that he addressed the
the
Stephen
Stephen
A
A.
thing because you can tell even when that happened, like all these people were like, "Oh, he wasn't talking shit about. He didn't care. He doesn't care when people criticize his son's play." The
Yeah.
problem was that, and I don't know if I've said this here, but he addressed he was mad because Stephen A had talked about him as a father. Like, "Oh, you're a father. You shouldn't do that as a father. You shouldn't do that." Da, 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 like, and that he kind
Yeah.
of, he kind of said
That's-
that. Like, listen,
he's-
I don't. We understand you're going to criticize players, but when you make it personal, then it's
Yeah.
just
Yeah, that's what
Then
he
it's
did. He
just
was like,
something
I
else.
would never get in the way of someone doing their jobs on like critiquing and reporting sports. But when you take it to like a personal level, that's where he draws the line. And he
right,
said,
which
like,
is true.
yeah, because he gave another example of like a reporter talking to Joel Embiid, talking about his brother, like for no reason. Like
Right.
that doesn't need to be talked about in sports. Like just talk
Yeah.
about him and what he does.
Listen, he's a family guy. He's a family man, and I 100% get it. He was being a father in that moment, confronting Stephen A. He wasn't being an NBA player, but Stephen A. loves it. And tomorrow's going to be crazy. Stephen A.'s already said I would have swung on him.
Whole show's gonna be about that.
Yeah. So I mean, he just basically fed in, and Stephen A. is going to get what he wants, the attention, and ESPN's going to get what they want, the attention, because you know how we feel about ESPN. Straight garbage. It's one of the reasons we started this damn podcast. But Zach, who's Zach firing? Eddie Money?
Zach wants to fire all the Instagram pages giving out free picks and being straight trash. They almost got me with their 50% off for a free week of picks. They can't even give out free picks correctly anymore.
Listen, those are all scams. 100%.
Zach, you know what they do? They send 1,000 people one side of the game, and they send another 1,000 people the other side of the game.
That's exactly what I told him.
And they keep
Facts.
doing the same shit until you get a group of 50 where you hit 5 in a row.
Yeah, and then that's it. And that's how they make money. They only need a handful of guys to pay them.
Mhm.
And if they'll ask you how much you bet a game. If they find a guy who bets $1,000 a game and they gave him 5 winners, they're gonna tell him, well, send us $2,500 and you'll get our exclusive package for 30 days or whatever. That's what they do.
Mhm.
That's exactly what they do. That's how
They've
they
been,
make money.
they've been doing it for 20 years. They've
They've been doing it for a lot
call.
longer than that.
Yeah, they used to cold call people
Mhm.
and like hang up on them. You don't want it, and then guys are like, "Oh my god, he hung up on me."
Yeah,
He
yeah,
must
yeah.
really
And then
mean
you'd call them.
business.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh god, yeah, I've heard stories. I want to actually hire someone, and it came from Philadelphia. Second Lieutenant Wyatt Hendrickson, heavyweight, originally from Air Force Academy, and then transferred his last year to Oklahoma State. And Wyatt's been a beast and a monster for a while now. But Gable Stevenson, the number one 3-time national champ, Olympic champ, trained in preseason with the Buffalo Bills, has a WWE contract, just a superstar in the sport. Basically, he was most likely the biggest favorite out of all 10 championship bouts. And Wyatt shocked the world and beat Gable last second. And if you didn't see it, is plastered everywhere. It was an incredible moment. And I just want to say thank you to Wyatt for, we got back to the hotel. I think I watched it like 100 times. I was so freaking emotional to see his dad. It's just one of those David and Goliath, like Russia v USA, hockey. It's just one of those moments that I will never forget. And it's what sports and and life is all about, like, not giving up, and it was just so inspiring. And Wyatt, you're a G, and Gable, I don't have a issue with Gable. He's a good dude, but it sucks that in those moments there has to be a winner and a loser. But it was an incredible, incredible moment, and I just want to thank him for that. Because and if you haven't seen it, I mean, there's so many angles of, you see the coaches in the background. They show his parents just losing it. I mean, it's what being human is all about, and the emotion was just off the charts, a 10. And I'll never forget that moment in Philly. So that's who I'm hiring.
Yeah, that was phenomenal.
Yeah,
I've
Yeah, I
seen it
think
like you
I
said.
think I
I've seen
saw
like
that
every
shit
angle.
on my feed like 5 times in 6 scrolls.
yeah. I mean, it was just everywhere.
Dude, all the
everywhere.
angles. All the angles. You
Yeah.
had angles from everywhere. It was phenomenal.
Yeah, so that was a great, great moment.
And I think a lot of people are getting the meaning behind that mixed up, because there were some people in the comments on it like, oh, you guys just love to see when someone like at the top fails, and it's like, it's not that. It's like everybody likes to see an underdog win. Like
Right.
that. It's more so that than seeing someone at the top fall. It's way different.
Yeah, like I said, Gable's been great for the sport.
Yeah.
He's been incredible. He's brought a lot of spotlight. He's an athletic freak. Like I said, Olympic champion, and he represented America incredibly. But I mean, you couldn't get. I mean, now they're calling him Captain America. After he hugs his parents and the coaches, he salutes. The commander in chief. It was just, you couldn't, like, it's like a Rocky. It was in
It was
Philly.
a dope ass moment.
Like, you couldn't write a script like that. It's Rocky. That's all it is, beating Apollo Creed. And it was just an incredible moment. I'll never forget it. And we'll see. Hopefully I get to go next year, but we don't know yet. So that is, you're hired, you're fired. Anything else, guys, before we move on?
I think that's it.
Hop into
Rafa,
some,
how's the golf, Rafa? You're withering away on us, man. How's the golf game coming along?
Oh, it's coming along, man. It's coming along. We played Bears Best in Vegas. It's a must do. It's a must play course, man. It is beautiful. Devontae Adams is on that course, by the way. Hole number 11. He lives in that community. It's a beautiful community, by the way. And I think I sent you something or you sent it maybe a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
That you're going to make it private, I think after June 22nd. So if you play golf, that's one of the places you got to play. It's just beautiful.
Yeah.
It's, Jack Nicklaus, it's 18 favorite holes all around the world that he's either built or designed or played in. So it's phenomenal. And before every hole, you actually play a video, and Jack will tell you how to play the hole.
No way.
Oh, 100%. He'll tell you. And there's like on 18, he's like, you need a good shot here. Like,
Really?
around. Yeah, I didn't listen on 18. I didn't listen. My shot was not good.
He's like, just hit it 320 on your drive in the middle of fairway. You'll be okay.
He'll tell you like certain holes. Like there was one hole I think you needed if you weren't able to drive 200, you weren't getting on the fairway. You weren't getting over the brush. But other than that, every other hole, like he'll tell you, this hole, hey, you can hit it here. You can, maybe go 170 yards, shit like that. Like it was phenomenal. It's a beautiful course. Beautiful course. So
shout out to Boomtown. He's on his quarterly trip. I believe he left his car in front of my house and then took an Uber to LAX. But he's gonna go fall in love for the 82nd time.
Boomer's an avid Columbia.
Oh,
he goes to Columbia more than we go to Vegas.
Yeah, he's trying to.
It says a lot.
He's trying to get a dual membership. Like, have you ever heard of an American who wants to be a citizen of Colombia? That's
usually it's opposite way around.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. But safe travels, Boomtown. Don't fall in love just because they call you Papacito.
Yeah, they're gonna call him Papi, and he's just gonna fucking melt for the fucking 113th time.
Yeah,
safe travels, Boomer.
Yeah, Yohei needs braces. Who's Yohei? It's like, oh, that's
You just seen that meme?
oh,
How
so
good is that? How good is that fucking meme?
That's
That-
Boomer.
It's a great fucking meme.
That's him, 100%. What do we got on tap, Eddie Money?
What do you guys want to get into? We got every sport imaginable to cover.
Dude, I want listen real quick. We had that, and it's never real quick because it's LeBron and Jordan. But we had that video posted, dude.
Yeah.
Like that you post. I don't know when you posted it, today or yesterday or whatever. Dude, but some of the there's so many people like just casuals there that when they I started commenting because some of the LeBron had to get D-Wade, like they don't understand the rest of the shit that happened after that.
Yeah.
That goes with that. And I'm glad, like, if you read some of the comments, there's like a lot of guys like, oh, well, Kyrie left after 2017 and they still went back to the finals and beat that Celtics team, although Kyrie was hurt. They still beat that team. Like shit like that. There's just so many. You know, a guy tried to tell me today, oh, well, because I said, you know, Jordan's never won a series without Pippen. A playoff series, period. Not one series has he ever won without Pippen. Guy tells me, oh, well, Pippen was on the bench. Pippen's rookie year, he was on the bench until game 5 that they needed to beat the Cavs in a 5-game series. Pippen had 24 in that game. And then that was the first game he started in the playoffs. And then he started the next 5 against Detroit. And he never sat the bench again. Like, Jordan needed Pippen as much as LeBron has needed D-Wade and Kyrie and AD. So,
Yeah.
And if we go over the history of time, I don't give a fuck what anybody tells me. Scottie Pippen is better than every single one of those players that LeBron has played with. In my opinion, Pippen is better than D-Wade. Pippen is better than Anthony Davis. Pippen is better than Kyrie. He's better than all of them.
I
That's
mean, for
my
sure,
opinion.
well-rounded, you know, because
Not even
now,
close.
yeah, for sure, well-rounded. So, what up, tricksters? Ricky
up, Big
Flores in
Rick?
the house. Rick was upset with me. He sent me some things like the Dodgers and Angels. Like, why do they call it the Freeway Series? It's not even a real. It's a preseason. Like, I think that's just they've always called that the Freeway Series.
Yeah, they've always called it. And
Yeah,
before, they didn't play really in spring training too much because they would
Yeah.
play in Arizona and it didn't really matter. Now they do it right before the season starts. So it's just, you know, get the Freeway Series going early. But
Did
it's
you
still shit.
yeah. So
Yeah.
LeBron, you know, in that interview, McAfee asked him, you know, if he talks to Jordan a lot. He said no and gave him the reason. There is no more like just crazy argument, you know, more what's the word I'm looking for? Polarizing argument than the Jordan and LeBron argument. And you know, we
Interesting.
asked Ryan Holmes, you know, about the argument. He's a Jordan guy, obviously. But I said, listen, if LeBron wins a championship at 40, being integral part of the Lakers, you have to put everything back into the pot, stir it up, and consider it again. Even just because you don't like LeBron, you know, the flopping thing. Listen, you know, yes, has he flopped? 100%, but it shouldn't take away from all the amazing things that he's accomplished or the amazing athletic ability, the basketball IQ. But people just, you know, that's the main thing they go to, the flopping, la flop. They don't respect it. You know, it's getting kind of old. And
But Eddie, all those people, those are people. When you go back, you can go back and watch LeBron when he was young. You can go back and watch LeBron 2016, 2015, 2017. It wasn't, the flopping wasn't as bad as it is now, number one. And
Yeah.
if you go back and watch Jordan, and that's my knock on everyone. We have so much more now that we can see all of the games. Every night
Yeah.
you watch every fucking game. It wasn't like that 25 years ago. I'm sorry. It wasn't like that. So all these people, oh yeah, no, I remember. No, you don't. No, you don't. Don't tell me that you remember Jordan this and that, because now when they're showing you, oh no, that's edited or whatever. No. I literally pulled up a fucking video of this man, 3 minutes of Jordan fucking flopping. 3 minutes of it. Like, that's why Magic Johnson and Larry Bird said it when they were taking pictures of the Dream Team. Oh, don't get too close to Michael because they call a foul.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he had special treatment all over. All over.
And don't forget, Rob, sorry to interrupt, but, you know, back then there might have been, what, 4 or 5 cameras at an NBA game? There's probably like 12 cameras, every angle.
We have 100 angles. It's on fucking 3 different fucking channels. You can watch it everywhere. It's different now. And all these people, and it doesn't matter. Listen, it doesn't matter if LeBron wins a title this year and next year. It doesn't even matter because they will still say, well, Jordan was 6-0. They will always go to that because that is their main argument. They can never say, oh, well, in a playoff series or in the NBA finals, well, Jordan never led his team in rebounds. He never led his team in assists. You know who did that? Scottie Pippen did that. LeBron has led his team. Hell, he led both teams in an NBA Finals series in every category. Points, rebounds, assists, steals. In every fucking category. And you might throw blocks in there. I'm not too sure, but I'm almost fucking sure it was as well. And that's in a series against the Golden State Warriors. Like, but they'll never say that. I'm not saying Jordan is not a better winner than LeBron was. My only take is, with a basketball in his hand, LeBron is the best player. That's my take and will always be that.
Do you think
for me?
Do you think, Rafa? I don't know if I've ever asked you this because actually Jordan was famous for not being. He was apolitical, never took a stance on anything, and it was on purpose, you know. And it might have been a great strategy. Do you think a lot of LeBron haters are fueled by how vocal he's been outside of basketball? Is that a factor, you think, in the LeBron hate?
The LeBron hate started with the decision. That's when the hate started. When he had the decision with
the YMCA.
What's the name? Yeah, at the YMCA with what is it, Jim Gray?
Yeah.
And they had it on ESPN, and it was that whole deal. It started there. Right. And then it went from there on. Then, he's in Miami. And then the poor performance against the Mavs. And, it went there. And then, Ray Allen saved him. Well, if you watch the sequence before that, to get to that point, who made the plays to get to that point? But they forget all of that. Kyrie saved him. Yes, we're going to forget the block that he makes coming down before that play. Like, they're going to forget all of that. They will always forget it.
Yeah,
because they dislike LeBron, and it's just there's always will be a hate for LeBron James no matter what. And he's the most scrutinized athlete ever
of all time.
Of all time, it's not even close.
I can't even think of maybe Tiger Woods at 2, maybe. I don't, but not even close. You're right.
People love Tiger though. Like,
yeah,
nobody hates Tiger. Like, I don't know one person that hates Tiger Woods.
Yeah,
like, I've never heard someone say, I don't like Tiger Woods. I don't like Serena Williams. Like, you don't hear that shit. Like, those type of generational talents. Michael Jordan. Who hates Michael Jordan? Nobody. Besides Scottie Pippen.
Yeah.
That's it. But other than that, publicly, who hates Michael Jordan? Nobody. But you have a ton of people that hate LeBron James. And it's just hate every fucking night.
I'm trying to think of another athlete, and I could only think of maybe Floyd Mayweather, as another athlete that gets a lot of hate. But I can't even think of another close to. Other than the Isaiah Thomas hates.
That's true. Isaiah Thomas does hate Michael Jordan.
Isaiah Thomas hates a lot of people, but it's mostly his fault. But can you think of a number 2?
Floyd would have to be the next closest, maybe. And even people hated Floyd because by the time Floyd got to like 46-0, 47-0, 48-0, all that, those fights were shit. Like they really were. And the fights weren't good. But people still watched because he had great defense and he was fighting, certain Mexican dudes, and he fought, certain guys, he fought them late. That was the thing about
Yeah.
Floyd. And Floyd's great, but I don't think nobody ever, when you're talking about boxing, nobody ever says, "Oh, well, I've never heard anyone say Floyd as one of the as one of the 2 best fighters of all time, or the 3 best fighters of all time." Like
Yeah.
nobody ever says that. So, but he was hated. It's just LeBron's level of hate is insane. And yeah,
Oh.
the politics.
Hold on. I got one.
Oh, A-Rod, Zach says.
A-Rod. Yes. A-Rod. That just popped up. But yeah, that's another one. Oh, Lance Armstrong. Another one, probably.
Well, Lance cheated.
Yeah.
So there's Rick. He says every category, including flopping as well.
There we go.
Like if there's the flopping. If we look at it, who mastered the flop? James Harden.
James
James
Harden.
Harden mastered the flop. He
Yes.
did it. He's done it the best, and he started it. And LeBron just kind of grew on it, and he's big as fuck. LeBron's
Yeah.
big as fuck. So he's gonna take shots every night, just like as Shaq would take shots every night. The thing is, Shaq was 320 pounds, and he was 7'1",
Yeah.
so it was a little different. Shaq taking shots, he didn't need to flop. Like it was just, it didn't bother him. But even then, I mean, you got to forget about the flopping. We're talking about the actual basketball play, and what everyone seems to forget is that this man has been elite for 3 fucking decades now. Like it's just he just didn't fall off. Like Michael Jordan fell off, Magic Johnson fell off. Okay, Kareem fell off.
Yeah.
This man not falling off. He's not falling off. Everyone has fallen off. Every elite athlete, Tiger Woods has fallen off. Roger Federer fallen off. Serena fallen off. All of those athletes have fallen off. This man has not fallen off after 22 years. That we can't give him any credit for that whatsoever. Like that doesn't matter.
Sort of like the GOAT,
Yeah.
Tom Brady.
Didn't fall off.
Nope.
He didn't fall off. Tom
Nope.
Brady didn't fall off. So, and he's a GOAT. He won 7 Super Bowls. That's
So-
why
Let's talk about the Lakers and their recent struggles. Everyone's trying to put their finger on it. The communication, not being physical enough. Obviously LeBron was hurt, and that's huge. But they're taking some lumps. What's the score right now? They're playing the Pacers, right? What's going on with that?
They were a big. They're up 5 now.
95-90, 45 left in the third.
They
feel
were
like-
they were a big to start that.
I feel like they need this game, to pick themselves off the mat, because
Zach
it's been
said
kind of
we do give him credit. Second greatest player ever.
that. Zach, you're full of it because you think Kobe's the second greatest player ever.
And Kobe was great. He was great. There's no doubt about it. But we look at all of the attributes of you put the whole package together, there is not one player in the history of the game that when you put it all together, he's the only one that can do all of that. Oh, it's because he's 6'9". Okay, so fuck. He's 6'9", so fuck it. It doesn't count. It doesn't count.
Yeah.
Like, that's not his fault. He's 6'9", with the speed that he has, the leaping ability, the strength, all of that at 22 years in the league. He's
Yeah.
played in the league longer than more than half his life has been in the NBA
Crazy.
at an elite fucking level. That is the thing. 15 straight seasons of averaging 25 points a game for a guy who we consider not to be a great scorer, the leading scorer all time in the regular season, in the playoffs. I mean, it's insane. And then he has over 5,500 more assists than Michael Jordan in the regular season. 5,500 more assists. Rebounds, probably 3,000 or 4,000 more than him. Blocks, who knows how many. But he's not the GOAT.
We've
Zach
talked
said
about
you're,
this.
you're convinced that LeBron is the greatest ever.
No.
Close. Eddie's close.
I am close. I still think I'm still a Jordan guy. Okay. But I'll tell you what impresses me more than anything. And it kind of blows my mind that he doesn't get more praise for this, because we talked about he's the most scrutinized player in sports history. But to be in the league 22 years, okay, and ESPN started following him as a junior in high school, And to have a spotlight on you that long, okay, not one DUI, not one domestic incident, not one cheating scandal or this or that. That might be more impressive. Imagine having a spotlight on you for more than half of your life, okay? And the worst thing that people can say about you is that you flop. He doesn't get enough credit for that, to be a male role model, not just for the African American community, but for the community, for men in general, to be a family man, to be a good father, to have a great work ethic. I mean, how about we give him some credit for that? That to me is insane, that he's been a dude of character and hasn't had that one incident, right? Not that I know of, at least, to actually put shade on him. That to me is insane. Don't follow me. Don't follow me with a camera for 22 years. I might as well be in jail.
Don't follow Eddie for 2 weeks with a camera. About 22 years.
Yeah.
About 2 weeks.
For sure.
And there's just so many things. And this argument will go back and forth forever, because there's guys that'll never, Kobe fans will never give LeBron his props on being better than Jordan. And Jordan fans will never give their props on LeBron. But when we look at it and you look at the body of work, what did Michael Jordan do better than LeBron besides winning 6 titles, which he did with Scottie Pippen? He never won a playoff without him. That is the key. That is the main fucking thing. And then what happened the other 9 seasons that he played that he didn't win an NBA Finals? What happened? What happened? And I strongly believe, and we can go through it, and there's plenty of people who make fun of this and doing memes and shit like that, where at that time, during that era, they were passing the torch on to Michael Jordan, right? Larry Bird and Magic put the league on the map. They stopped fucking recording games. You started getting some games live, and NBA got involved with NBC and all that live. Okay. The league needed Jordan to take it. So Jordan, it didn't matter. Akeem Olajuwon's numbers were ridiculous one year. He doesn't win the MVP. Michael Jordan wins the MVP. When you go back during the decade of from 2009 to 2019, and you look at all the MVPs, LeBron has better numbers than those guys, I think 8 of the 10 years. Better than every single guy that won the MVP. He could have won the MVP every fucking time. And then you're going to get the Kobe fans, oh, well, Kobe should have won it the year that Nash won it. 100%. I agree with you. But the year after that, and this is what casuals will never understand, because they watch basketball one team. Their Lakers or their Phoenix Suns or their Dallas Mavericks or whatever. The year that Kobe actually won the MVP, Steve Nash should have won it, because he won 67 games, I believe, without Amari Stoudemire, which was the best player on the team. But they gave it to Kobe that year. In reality, was because they fucked up the year before. Kobe should have won it the year before that. But you couldn't give it to Nash 3 years in a row. Like we can't give it to Joker 3 years in a row or 4 years in a row or whatever the fuck it is. We know damn well right now when you watch the NBA that the Joker is probably the best player in the league. He should win it every fucking year. I mean, this year, SGA's trophy, there's no doubt about it. But when you look at the numbers, Joker's numbers are insane. So
Shaq probably got, job 3 or 4 times because he was so dominant.
Easy.
So dominant. But did you hear what LeBron said about Giannis, the Greek freak? And he said, listen, guys, if Giannis Antetokounmpo freaking played in the 1970s, he would have scored 250 points in a game. And it's hard to argue with that. It really is.
You can't argue with it, but unfortunately it didn't happen and we didn't see it. And the athletes today are much better than they were back then. So, I mean, there's guys that you guys don't even know who the fuck they are. And I always reference Sengun from the Rockets, who's a phenomenal basketball player. Nobody knows who he is. And he's a 20-plus game Sengun, who's fucking a 20-plus point scorer a night. Mm-hmm. That guy has skills that those guys in the 70s did not have. It's just what it is. The guys who have these skills now, they have these skills, and the guys will get better as the years go on, obviously, athletically. They are more gifted. There's more shit to go on, all of that. They have more access, the facilities. Everything is better. Everything is better. So the athlete today is better. No doubt about it.
We could go on about this debate forever, but we start hitting some actual news topics that happened in the sports the last couple weeks. What do you guys want to start with? We got NFL, we got
Well,
March
we
Madness,
can get into MLB because MLB
MLB. We
is
got
opening
opening
days
day on
tomorrow.
Thursday.
Tomorrow.
Opening day, baby.
We got MLB opening day tomorrow. The Dodgers 4:00, which is weird start for opening day. It's usually 1:00 for the Dodgers.
Yeah.
But the good thing is that Whittier and Pico Rivera and all of that will be crime free for the 3.5 hours. They will all be at Dodger Stadium for that.
I live in Whittier.
So 100% Whittier, Pico Rivera, East LA. I mean, all the neighborhoods
Downey,
with all the
for sure.
Downey.
Yeah, Downey's got
Just
some
look
older
for
folks.
Ojos Locos.
Yeah.
Downey's got some older folks, but yeah. So Dodgers 4:00 tomorrow. That's going to be a hell of a game. You got two lefties going.
Yes.
And
Skubal
and
Snell.
And Snell. Dude, I was looking at some of the lines yesterday. The fucking Angels, who are horrific, are minus 160 tomorrow. That means the Chicago White Sox should only win fucking 40 games this year.
Oh my God. That is
My
crazy
God.
insane. Crazy insane.
My God. But I love opening day of baseball because it's the only day of the year for the most part that you get all the aces going ace on ace, right?
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it's always been for me the best day for baseball. Because ace on ace.
It's Americana, man. I know. And Eddie Money, did you ever play T-ball or
No.
like Pony League?
Never played a lick of baseball. I'm not gonna lie.
It was, I'm 52, but it was like you put your kid in baseball no matter what, athletic, not athletic. It was just like a staple. That's what you played before video games and Nintendo and social media. You went outside and you played baseball. I mean, that was it. And like, Sandlot, the kid that sucked, you put him in right field. And that's how we grew up. And it's the reason why when I walk into Dodger Stadium, the smell, the national anthem, I get teary-eyed every single time because it reminds me of me being, on Avenue 30, Glassell Park, and being 8, 9, 10 years old and just having the best time of your life. And that's why baseball will always have a huge, part of my life. I passed it on to my kids. All my kids love the Dodgers. Like, it's just something that you hand down, except for Rafa. He doesn't hand down.
I handed it down. I handed it down.
But not a team. Not a team.
I did. Listen, I handed down the Dodgers, and then from there on, I handed down the Dodgers. Listen, I would go to. I hate opening day. I hate opening day. To go to watch opening day to me is the worst day to go to Dodger Stadium because every fucking cholo saves their money for opening day, dog. We're gonna go see the Dodgers on opening day. I hated opening day. I was the dude always there. The third game of the series, that whatever it was. If the season opened on Tuesday, I was there on the Thursday night, the Friday night, the Saturday of the first series, whatever. I was never there on opening day. I fucking hated it. But when the Dodgers were in the playoffs, first home game, I was always there. Ralphie had I don't know how many Dodger postseason hats. And then after 2017, when people start crying, talking about, it was a good season. No, you lost. And that annoyed me. So I couldn't do it after that. So, and then, and my girls don't like sports like that. So my daughters don't like sports like that. So I couldn't, they could give two shits about it. So
one of my best memories, and I might be embellishing. I can't remember if it was opening day or not, but it was a day game. They had the businessman special. But one of the memories that I will never forget about my dad. And my dad, obviously Puerto Rican, lived in Brooklyn, used to go to Ebbets Field, huge Dodger fan. He went to school, picked me up early, took me to a Dodger game. Had no idea, right? Took me to a day Dodger game. After the Dodger game, took me to the movies, and we watched Risky Business. And if you don't know the movie with Tom Cruise and not Michelle Pfeiffer, but the other hot blonde. I forget her name. It's a really crazy movie, and it's something, you know, if you know my dad, it's exactly his MO, you know, horny AF. But it's one of the best days of my life is being taken out of school as a surprise, going to watch a Dodger game during the day, and then going to watch Risky Business. I mean, my dad is a G just for that day alone. Like, I'll go to bat for him when, if he passes. I'm gonna be like, dude, that day, special Father Sunday right there. But go look up Risky Business, Eddie Money. I guarantee you haven't seen it or even freaking heard of it.
I know.
But,
I know. I looked
Rebecca
it up.
De Mornay. Rebecca
Yeah.
De Mornay.
I know the clip of Tom Hanks like sliding and like singing in his like boxers.
Not fucking Tom Hanks. It's Tom fucking Cruise, sir.
Tom Cruise. my
Don't
bad.
ever fucking confuse Tom Hanks and Tom Cruise.
Oh, so
Ever.
good.
Ever.
So you know the scene. You know the
Yeah,
scene
yeah.
at least. Yeah.
Someone so switch up the topic a little bit. Someone asked in Instagram. He said, "Do y'all think Dallas Cowboys are going to trade Dak?"
Okay, so if you haven't heard this ridiculous rumor that is spreading around social media that the Browns are in the talks for a trading the Browns, number 3 pick, right? Or
Yes.
2 pick? Yeah.
I think it's 3.
And
Eddie Money
then
will know better.
yeah, trading that pick to get Dak to Cleveland, right? And then with that pick that Dallas moves up, they get Shedeur Sanders. And I mean, you have to throw in, first of all, Dak has a no trade clause. I don't see Dak saying, yeah, I'll go to Cleveland. That makes absolutely no sense when you're the Dallas Cowboys quarterback, you know, the most famous position other than shortstop for the New York Yankees. I mean, you know, Dallas Cowboys quarterback is the position to play in all of sports. But for Dak to do that, and then you have Deshaun Watson and Dak Prescott on your roster, that eats up 50% of your freaking salary cap. That makes absolutely no sense. But this rumor, Rafa, is gaining momentum. You know, it makes absolutely no sense to me. Yeah, I should start spreading, you know, rumors of my.
Eddie, you do that regardless. Whatever you want to happen, you start spreading it.
Good point. That is a technique of mine. But Rafa, do you think there's any validity, any kind of truth, or could you see this happening? It makes no sense to me.
Not to the Browns. I don't see them trading Dak. I could see them moving up and trade the rumor. Just based on the rumor, right? We're gonna throw some outlandish shit out there. I could see them trading up to draft Shedeur because we know Dion wants to sit for a year, and it's kind of like a perfect scenario for the Cowboys in reality. You got a head coach that nobody really gave a fuck about. Nobody even really thought was going to be a head coach, and for me, I think it's an easy exit strategy for them. Like, listen, we can draft Shedeur. He can sit behind Dak. We're going to have probably a miserable season. Our head coach sucks. If Dak has a bad year or they don't make the playoffs, okay, we can move on from Dak. We can move on from the head coach. We have Shedeur, who sat a year behind a quarterback who's arguably.
But Rafa, the trade is for Dak for the 3rd pick. So Dak would not be in Dallas.
I don't see that happening. I'm just, for me, it'd be more logical for them to trade up somehow, something else, for them to trade up.
Micah?
Just something else, whatever, future draft picks or whatever.
Micah
trade up and Micah's not signed yet, so that could be a possibility. I mean, listen, there's rumors, and who knows? The fans probably start them, and more than likely they do.
Actual NFL writer started it and said he has a good source. I could see how people could connect the dots. That, like you said, you have a sitting or dead man walking at head coach. No one really likes him. You bring in Shedeur, and then next year you go get Prime, right? So, that makes sense. But you can't have Deshaun Watson and Dak Prescott the two highest or top 5 highest paid quarterbacks on the same roster.
Yeah, but
That makes absolutely no sense.
They can rework those deals, and Deshaun will be done. He's probably not going to be able to play this year anyways. So,
No, he's not. Yeah, he's done. He tore his Achilles.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's a ridiculous rumor, but we won't. And for the next 4 weeks, this is the bullshit we're going to get.
Yeah.
This is the bullshit we're going to get. And since we're on the draft, Cam Ward told the Titans today that he was basically certifying his spot as the number 1 fucking dog in this draft at quarterback. So,
yeah, he's his odds are minus 1,200 to go as the number 1 pick.
You know what? For me, when you have the number 1 pick in the draft, okay, it almost has to be a sure thing, right? You don't want to do, a Ryan Leaf or a Jamarcus Russell, because that will be the stamp on your franchise that you reached. Abdul Carter from Penn State, for me, is the most dynamic, and you know what you're going to get. And I think that the pro day today or tomorrow, I don't know if it was today, but if he goes out there and runs a 4.3, which he said he's going to go run a 4.3 with the size and the skill, and to me, the closest thing to Myles Garrett, right? How do you pass on a player like that you know is going to hit? I'm a fan of Cam Ward, but it's still a 70-30, 60-40 chance that he's going to pan out when
and that's high.
Yeah, that's high. When it's more of a 90-10 surety that Abdul Carter is going to be a beast. So I think it's a mistake if Cam goes first, or I would 100%, if I'm the Titans, I get Abdul Carter. It's a safe pick, and
the thing about Abdul Carter, and I understand what you're saying, and I don't. It's not that it's a safe pick, because a defensive end missing, people won't consider it you setting your franchise back for years. And if you miss on a quarterback, right, with the number 1 overall pick, it'll set you back 4 or 5 years. And and if you miss on let's say an offensive tackle or a defensive tackle or defensive end or a corner or whatever, the number 1 pick, it's like, all right, we can get over that because we can find some dude in the 3rd round, or we can sign somebody that nobody wanted and he can pan out or whatever. I understand that. That's why it seems safer. But at the end of the day, if you're the Titans, you need a quarterback, right? I mean, you saw what Will Levis did. He was just hot garbage. So are you giving up on Will Levis after 2 seasons is what you're doing?
Yes.
Yeah, no. That's
everyone has. His girlfriend has.
That's what they're doing, obviously. So, and minus 1,200, the odds are ridiculous, and they'll go down as the weeks get closer, I believe. But we'll see.
Let's talk about the Giants and the news and how the Giants. And you said it, Rafa, that they weren't going to draft a quarterback. I'm shocked.
Just about to bring that up.
But you have Jameis and now Russell Wilson. I want to be in that quarterback room. I want to be a fly on the wall in that quarterback room.
Tommy DeVito as well.
I think Jameis knew. I think Jameis knew that he wasn't going to be the starter anywhere he went. He wasn't going to start. Like he's past that already, and I think he understands it. And he may believe that he can be that Geno Smith guy who got another chance or whatever, but he's yet to prove it. And last year when he got a chance, he threw a ton of interceptions again. So I think he understood going and signing with New York that he was going to be a backup. And they could have told him, you know what? We're maybe going to try and get Russell Wilson. Maybe we try and get Aaron Rodgers. But if not, we draft the rookie. And if we draft the rookie, then it's going to be you against him to win the job. Right. But they guaranteed Russell $10 million out of the $21 million or whatever that he signed. The money's guaranteed for $10 million of it's guaranteed. You're not guaranteeing a guy $10 million and him going in there not expecting to get the job. and Jameis is not going to beat him out.
Saquon foretold this when he asked him at the Super Bowl Media Day. He was like, "What team will sign me?" And Saquon was actually like, "They will probably sign you," because he's like
He
the
said it.
quarterback whisperer, and he called it.
Everyone there is on the short leash. Everyone in New York, the GM,
Well,
head
showing
coach.
basically, I mean, this is why the move is so crazy to me, because if you do draft a Shador or a Cam Ward, it sort of gives you at least 1 or 2 years of, hey, I went with the rookie. You guys wanted me to do this, now, and if I'm Malik Neighbors, I do want Jameis Winston to be my quarterback because he throws the ball downfield and he's a 50-50 dude. He might be a 60-40 dude. Russell Wilson is not going to do that. Russell Wilson's going to, play action. He's not the runner he used to be. It doesn't make any sense to me. If I'm Malik Neighbors, I'm like, I want the dude who doesn't care about throwing interceptions. Give me it, and he's going to do that. And we've seen Jameis. I mean, he blames that everyone goes back to the year of 30-30, right? 30 touchdowns, 30 interceptions.
Give me 40-40, baby.
He says he couldn't see. He had astigmatism, or that's always his thing, right? Like, I couldn't see. Well, I mean, that's kind of crazy, but he had some really good games last year, Rafa. Like,
could he not fucking see last season?
Like, he didn't have
just on those interceptions. That's when he couldn't see.
Like, listen, Jameis knew going in he was going to be the bench, and I'll listen. Looking at the Giants, let's just kind of look at it in the Giants. I'm going to pretend to be the Giants GM and owner and kind of give you an idea. And by no means is it correct or accurate, but this is the only thing. This is the only thing that I can make sense of this, Eddie.
Okay.
All right. We get Russell Wilson, the guy who, from week 5 to week 14 was a really good quarterback last year, right? Mm-hmm. With a receiving quarterback that wasn't very good. Not a very good running back behind him, right? In a tough division, in probably the best division in football, arguably up and down, whatever, right? One of the 2 best, whatever, right? So now you're the Giants. You saw what the Redskins did last year. Can they do it again this year? Sophomore season for the rookie quarterback, yada yada yada, right? The Cowboys head coach, that team looks like it's a little bit in disarray, and the Eagles. They're losing players, but they have a phenomenal roster. Does Russell Wilson get us 10 wins in the division? And if they believe that. So now with their pick, whatever it is, I think it's 5, right? If they can add a piece, because their defensive front is pretty fucking good. Okay. Mm-hmm. The Giants defensive front is pretty good. And the running back, the kid was pretty good last year. Their second receiver, he's pretty good. At number 5, can we add a piece to maybe get us 10 wins with Russell? That's the only thing that I can think of for them making a move like this, right? Fuck it. We got to go for it. Maybe we can win 10 games, give Dable another shot. Fuck it. If not, maybe they don't like the quarterbacks this year either. That could be another thing where they may not like the quarterbacks and they like Russell better. Because to me, you going out and signing a guy like Russell Wilson makes me believe that you believe that you can make the playoffs next year. As bad as you were this year, that's the only reason that you're giving a guy $10 million guaranteed, and the deal can stretch up to $21 million or whatever. So that's the only thing I can think of with the Giants. They're taking a shot at it. If you go out and get a rookie, you're pretty much telling Dable you're fucked, and good luck. That's basically it. It's what I believe. It's the only way that I can make the Giants make sense of this whole fucking thing.
Yeah, that doesn't cut it for me. Because Eddie Money, you saw how just disinterested Malik Neighbors was last year. He's like, people say that he hired the plane, that carried the banner. I forget what it said. To me, I would have started Jameis. And drafted Shador. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me as the GM. Especially, he's already on the hot seat. The owner on national televised broadcast said if Saquon goes to the Eagles, that's going to be really tough to swallow. Well, it happened. And
Well,
they
it
got
happened.
you on. It happened. They won a Super Bowl. I mean,
By the way, Eddie, real quick. So
Yeah.
last year, Russell Wilson played 11 games. He threw
Okay.
2,400 yards, right? Jameis Winston played 12 games, okay, and he threw for 2,100 yards.
that's what I'm
So-
saying. And how many picks? How many picks did he
He
have?
played one more game than Russell. He played in 12 games and threw 300 yards less than him. So and he had so Russell Wilson had 16 touchdown passes, 5 interceptions. Jameis had 13 and 12.
13 and
So
12.
yeah, he had 13 and 12. And so when you're looking at it, and Russell Wilson QBR was 95, Jameis was 80. It's a big fucking difference. So, I mean,
Okay.
I don't know. There's no way in hell that Jameis thought that he was going to be the starter on that team. He could have been told, hey, we might get a rookie. If not, we might get this guy. If you can maybe beat out the rookie for the first 6 weeks of the season, you'll go 1-5 with 8 touchdowns and 9 interceptions, and then we'll bench your ass, and you'll be fine with it. So, but I just, it's insane that the Giants did it, but they did it, and they're gonna give it a go one more time. They're not kind of conceding the season.
So does this now mean that the Giants are taking Travis Hunter, secured?
Not
basically?
at 5. They're the 5 pick, right?
He has somehow turned into the favorite to go there.
How does Travis get to 5?
Yeah.
I don't know.
How does he get to 5? Where's New England picking?
3.
He doesn't get past New England.
No, Browns is 3.
Oh, Giants are
That's
at 3. Giants are at 3.
Giants are
Oh, Giants 3? Oh,
Yeah.
luck. And who's it 2? The
Browns.
Jags. The Browns.
Titans,
are 2.
Browns, Giants.
Oh yeah. So then there you go. I mean, fuck. That it seems a lot better, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Russell
more-
Wilson, Travis Hunter, Malik Neighbors, with that front line, that front 7 of the Giants, at least the front 4 is a pretty good front 4, Eddie. Whether you want to believe it or not.
Oh, no. They have 2
They were-
amazing
I think-
defensive ends.
And
With that, when you say that roster out loud, I think let me get an experienced QB and not a rookie. Let me get a rookie I can put somewhere
Right.
else and at least
Well-
compete. Let me compete this season.
And if you draft Travis Hunter at 3, him playing corner, right, with that front that they have, it's a
Oh
lot
yeah,
less
makes it a lot
pressure.
easier.
It makes them a lot easier for him to play corner,
Yeah.
and a lot easier. It's going to be a big help for both of them, for the team and for him.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a decent job for the Giants, and we're going to talk about this in week 7 or 8 when the Giants are maybe 5-2. Okay, we know what their schedule's like, but if they get to
What?
5-2, I'm telling you, I'm just saying, I'm throwing. Man, they're fucked up. So we gotta help. But if they get to that point, then everybody's gonna be looking at this like, wow, it was a great job for them to get Russell. And listen, he had 16 touchdowns, 5 interceptions last year, and he led that team to the playoffs. He closed terrible. They lost the last 4 games, 3 of the regular season, the playoff game. They played terrible to close the season. But he didn't have a legitimate wide receiver. He didn't have one. George Pickens is a fucking problem.
Yeah.
We know
But
that.
he's a legit receiver.
He's a problem though. You could be legit, but
He's
if
more of
you're
a problem than he is a receiver.
yeah, he's more of a problem. You're a problem. And Russell
Well,
Wilson doesn't seem to be those, problematic type guys as far as on the field. He's got all sorts of distractions and shit, but as
Yeah.
far as like attitude, he seems like just a happy-go-lucky guy on the sideline, right? So, I think it's a good move, especially if you get Travis Hunter, because then you get a guy you can maybe play 25 snaps on the offensive side of the ball, and then 100% of the snaps on defense or 95% of the snaps on defense. You get a corner who should be really good with that front 7 that they have, which
Yeah.
I think is pretty good.
Let's talk
And
about
then-
another problem at receiver real quick, Eddie.
Mhm.
And then people are talking about this move. I'm not impressed. I know how you feel about him, Rafa, but Stephon Diggs
Yep,
to
to the Patriots. I was about to bring that up.
to the Pats. And to me, that's the last thing I want with my, second year, everywhere he's gone, he's bitched and moaned. I mean, he's produced, right? He's produced in a lot of years, but he's always been an issue. he's always been a diva, which a lot are, but he is even, like a Beyonce, Mariah Carey status diva at that end, diva status. I don't like the move. I'd rather build from the inside out, give Drake May a great offensive line. He's proven that he can play ball. And people are talking about it like, ooh, this is kind of scary. And they showed like the offensive weapons they have. To me, it looks like dog shit to me.
Well, listen.
Oh yeah, when they're like, be scared of this or the best
sure.
receiver
Like,
in the season. And it's him, Mac Hollins, Kendrick Bourne.
Yeah,
There's no,
like Hunter Henry or like what?
yeah, it was no.
No,
Yeah.
I think the Patriots, when they saw, Drake May, how he played, and he didn't have a legitimate receiver. Now we get him a legitimate receiver. Diggs comes in there basically being the number one, right? He's the number one guy. He needs to be the number one guy. But last year before the season started, I said it here that we would see Josh Allen, that weight of the Stephon Diggs off of his shoulders. And you saw it, right? It all the way to the AFC title game. That weight that that Stephon Diggs had on Josh Allen kind of killed him. Just, going in there now with the young quarterback.
Not only on Josh Allen, Rafa, but the offensive coordinator. They ran the ball because they were like, I got to get this guy so many touches or he's going to bitch and moan and walk off the field early and do this shit. Not only is it a quarterback thing, but it's an OC thing. When you have, a dude knowing if I don't get, 9 to 12 targets, it's going to be an issue. And I mean, like you said, he's been an issue. And if he doesn't get those targets, it's going to be an issue.
The thing is, I think he's going to get the targets here because he's their number one. He's going to be their number one.
Yeah.
And he's going to get those targets. And if he doesn't get those targets by week 8 or 9, and the team's, 2-6 or 2-7 or whatever, then it's like, hey, you know what? We'll look to trade him or cut him or whatever and call it a day. But that's it. But you needed to get Drake May something. And you need more things than just the receiver. So for them, they probably draft an offensive lineman and they have Stephon Diggs. But realistically, if we look at that division, they're the third or fourth
garbage.
They're the third or fourth best team.
Yeah.
Like it's Buffalo and Miami, and then that's it. I mean, these two guys, they're the Jets and the Patriots might as well fight for last fucking place.
Well, in your prediction of the Giants going 5-2 in the first 7, do they play the Cowboys four times in the first?
I don't know who they play. The schedules aren't out yet. The schedules aren't out yet. But if we look at what Russell did for that stretch in the middle of the season, it was very good. He closed bad, but he still threw 16 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. So, he didn't play bad.
Yeah.
He did not play bad, and he led the team to the playoffs. So, I mean, I think they'll be fine. I think it's a good move by the Giants.
Eddie Money, let's close out NFL unless you have another topic with, speaking of the Steelers, the Aaron Rodgers saga. I'm
over it, man.
Right? I mean,
I'm over Aaron Rodgers.
It's almost like this is
it's demeaning his legacy, man. It's
every
kind of sad.
year.
Wow, the Lakers hit a buzzer beater to win the game.
Wow. Who hit it? AR-15?
Wow. LeBron, offensive rebound.
Lead taking putback layup.
Asshole. Let's review it and say it's expired. God. That hurt me right in the ass.
Giggity.
Oh.
Luka actually missed the floater. LeBron got to put back.
Shocker.
But yeah, I'm tired of Aaron Rodgers, man. It's ruining his legacy. It's ruining how good he was. And it's just like, retire, bro. Please.
Did you hear what he said? Like, he sort of came out and said, like, now he appreciates what he had in Green Bay. Like, this has been going on the last, when the Packers drafted Jordan Love and didn't, or even before that, when they didn't get him a receiver. it's like he dominates every NFL offseason with his drama and his antics and the ayahuasca and the dark room. And like, what's being held up here? You're going to go to the Steelers. Like, what's your other option here? Like, there is no other option here. And it's kind of just ridiculous. Now you realize you had it good with with Green Bay and it was a good situation. Now you come out and say that? Like you said, Eddie Money, it's wearing on us, right?
Yeah, man. I'm not a fan anymore. I mean, like, I'm still a fan of what he has done, but what he's doing is annoying. And I just want it to end. Because I feel like no one's gonna he's not gonna remember it as like being big dominant in Green Bay and getting those MVPs and like being there in the playoffs.
No. Don't discredit him that.
I'm not discrediting him that. I'm saying
because you're saying people are going to forget that, and nobody's going to forget that, because when we look and we can say whatever we want about Aaron Rodgers and all the off season bullshit or whatever, but when you look back at this era of the NFL, you can say now we're talent only that Aaron Rodgers for the last 15 years has arguably been the most talented quarterback that we've seen, with the exception of Patrick Mahomes. I'm talking about talent. I'm not talking about Tom Brady. I'm not talking about Tom Brady. I'm talking about talent. I'm talking about Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes. Not talking about Tom Brady. Exclude Tom Brady out of this.
Yeah,
we exclude him. But when we look at talent, no matter how much Aaron Rodgers is off the field bullshit, the crap with the Jets, the ayahuasca, that I want a receiver, blah, blah, blah. Nobody can, you cannot take away from him the MVP seasons, the comebacks, the Hail Marys before the half, at the end of the game, all of that. Aaron Rodgers is, if you had to take a quarterback, this guy, he's going to be the next Aaron Rodgers. Nobody's ever mad at that. Nobody's ever mad at that. So, yes, he's been a show off the field the last handful of seasons, but nobody can ever take away that he is a phenomenal quarterback, and he'll go down in history as one of the best to do it. And it's no doubt in my mind.
I would agree, Rafa. I would say, and this might be crazy, but I would say when it comes to Aaron Rodgers and it comes to his talent and gifts, he has to be top 3 most gifted quarterback of all time. And I'm thinking Dan Marino, maybe John Elway, Elway, and
the guy who wears number 15 in Kansas City. Are you kidding?
Okay.
Gifted. We're talking about gifted. We're talking about gifted.
No,
yes.
Patrick is there. Those are my 4. As far
I agree
as
with you.
gifted.
Mahomes, Rodgers, Marino, and Elway. Gifted. I agree with you.
Why you got to put Mahomes first, though?
No, I'm just saying. any four gifted, you're 100%.
Gifted, right?
100%.
You can't argue with that.
No argument.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, so all the on the no, I don't think anyone's gonna remember him for the off the shit 10 years from now. Like I don't think so. I don't think so. When he gets into the Hall of Fame and he's in the first ballot, nobody's gonna say, "Oh, well, he had all this shit going." Nobody's gonna say anything about that. Nobody's gonna remember this stuff with the Jets.
I don't know,
man.
Not me.
You're different,
because I don't give a shit about that stuff. I care about the guy on the field. I want to see how
media cares about it.
So yeah, but why hasn't he signed with the Steelers? What's the holdup?
I'm sure there's all sorts of shit. He probably wants to have a circle jerk in June, and he wants to make sure that he can make it. I mean, who knows? When you're that age, you got to remember, when you're that age, you have to make sure that when you sign, I need this, I need that, I have to take this vacation, I'm playing in this charity golf tournament in Lake Tahoe, I'm doing this. All of that needs to align before because you can't go in there, sign, and then all of a sudden, what's happened with the Jets? Well, I'm not showing up this week because I'm over here with Andy North in Lake Tahoe. I'm with Andy North in Palm Springs. In Las Vegas, I'm playing golf. I can't show up for OTAs. I can't show up for mini camp. Shit like that. You have to line all that up at the age that he's at. I mean, he's 40 something years old, 20 plus years in the league almost, right?
Never
So
married,
all of that.
no kids, doesn't talk to his family. What the fuck does he have to go to? Go play
Eddie.
football.
He's 40 something years old, bro. He's
Like,
40 something
you don't
years
have
old.
kids. You don't have a wife. You don't have any friends. You don't talk to your family.
Oh no, he's got friends. Him and Pat, they got some circle jerk planned in fucking June.
Oh,
You don't
my
know. He might not
God.
make OTAs. All sorts of
insane,
shit
dude.
gonna happen.
I'm with Eddie Money on this. I'm over it.
Oh, I'm over it too. I could give 3 fucks. He signs. We'll wait till the first week of September to see where he's playing. I mean, I don't give a fuck. So,
Yeah.
but he still is can't take away the MVPs and all the talent
No, you can't.
and everything that he gave us
For sure.
on the field. It just is phenomenal.
For sure.
So, but that's my take on that.
Anything else NFL newsworthy?
Nothing really. Only thing I had on here was just Ashton Genty's odds to go for a team. Raiders are looking like heavy favorites.
Yeah, let's leave
Right.
Ashton Genty bullshit.
Yeah, it's so old. Don't reach. Whatever. We've
here.
talked about it.
Real quick, no fly zone asks who's the early favorite to win the Masters. It's always Scotty every weekend, but Rory.
He's been struggling. Rafa,
Yeah, he's been struggling. He's been struggling. He's been struggling. Give me one of the live guys. Go fucking Bryson. Give me Brooks. Give me one of the live dudes. Let's go fucking live golf. Maybe
I
some
like
John
it too.
Ram action.
I feel like Scotty is reverting back to his being frustrated, showing too much emotion. He played so well for so long that when he's struggling now, and when I say struggling, he's like in 7th place,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like,
Yeah. He's not
it's
dominant.
like-
It's not dominant.
yeah. Yeah.
And I think
he was
could it be all the compare and listen, the media was doing it, and nobody should ever do it because they compared him the run that Tiger had, and Tiger was number 1 for whatever 13 years in a row or some shit.
so
crazy shit. But they started comparing it, and yes, because he won $60-something million last year in purses,
Yeah.
I think it was
Yeah.
right. So could that have been something to kind of weigh on him? And a lot of people, was it the pressure of him? Oh, people will kind of see him next guy up or whatever, maybe taking the next spotlight over Phil and Rory and stuff like that. Maybe that's weighing on him a little bit. But for the most part, he's always a favorite. Fly zone, Scotty, Rory, Bryson, John Ram.
Yeah. I would love, I want to see we saw how good Rory played. Almost kind of choked it away, right? The Players Championship, but I feel like I want a PGA. I want a PGA guy to win.
Not me. Fuck no.
Why?
Not me.
It would if a live guy wins. And listen, I love Koepka. I love all those guys, but I feel like the PGA needs to win to be like, you need us more than we need you guys. And if Brooks was to win, or a DeChambeau or John Rahm, like you said, one of those live guys were to win, it solidifies the live, right? And I want to see best on best. I want to see Rory, going against Brooks. Dustin Johnson. I want to see best on best. And I would just love if Rory came out and won 2 majors in a row to start off the season, especially, the rumors that were talked about and all the bullshit. He has been an ambassador for the sport for so long. I would love for Rory to freaking win.
Fuck him. Let's go, Bryson. So, by the way, Zach asked, can Dice's Wildcats upset Duke tomorrow?
Nope.
I'll tell you what. Watching this tournament, and I remember some weeks back when we were I said Arizona was my sleeper team. But if you know me, I've loved Duke since Grant Hill and Bobby Hurley. And I know Eddie's a North Carolina guy, so that hurts him. But I've always Duke for me is always, since I was a kid, that was the one school I always liked, right? And so, dude, but if you watch the first 2 games of the tournament, I don't think there's a better team in the land than the Duke Blue Devils. And there is no better player than Cooper Flagg. And if he's not the number one, and you go off and take on one of these Frenchies because you think they're going to be the next Wemby, you're going to miss out on the white fucking version of
Not a
LeBron
chance.
James. You're going to miss out on possibly the next Larry Bird type player, Cooper Flagg. And Duke just looks phenomenal. I don't know if Arizona has a ton of experience, right? And
Yeah.
some of the kids on Duke as well. And they're more led by Cooper, the freshman, and who plays hard every possession. Have you watched him play? Every
incredible.
fucking possession, it's like the last possession. It's phenomenal. And so if they got upset, it wouldn't shock me because Arizona has played well, but I don't think they could keep up with this Duke team. And we've seen the other teams. You know, we saw Florida kind of struggle at the end, even their first game. I mean, they're up 32, and Dice was listen, the last 22 minutes of that game. If you just play the last 22 minutes, they lost that game to Norfolk State the last 22 minutes. The next game, they didn't play well either in their second game. So, and Florida, I mean, they could come out tomorrow and absolutely smoke Maryland. It wouldn't surprise me. Duke has been the most consistent team throughout the first two games. For me, Auburn has struggled. Alabama struggled a little bit. So I don't think they can upset them. It wouldn't shock me, but I think Duke right now has played the best, and everyone's heavy on Duke. I mean, it's like 48% of the title bets are on Duke in Vegas, I believe. It's like a crazy number. 48% of the money is on Duke. It's like a big fucking number according to what one of the guys at the Bellagio told me on Thursday. I don't know how it's grown throughout the weekend, but that was before the tournament started. He had told me that their money was a lot of the money was on Duke.
If Cooper Flagg is the Michael Jordan of college basketball, then Knipple is the Scottie Pippen. I just love saying Knipple all day, every day.
Knipple is Knipple is a phenomenal player. I don't know if he's Scottie Pippen though. He's not Scottie Pippen type. No. He's not Scottie Pippen type, but he can definitely shoot the basketball.
But
and he'll shoot it from anywhere. That's what I love about him. And he need a lot of space. He doesn't need a lot of space. He'll pull up and shoot from anywhere. He'll come off any screen. He'll pull it from anywhere on that side of the court.
But Zach, to answer your question, this is an obvious answer because the streakiest shooter of all time, even like John Starks, I'm thinking of streaky shooters. It's Caleb Love, originally of UNC, and now you saw when he can shoot when he gets hot, that's how Arizona beats Duke. But he's so streaky and so inconsistent that you don't know what's going to happen. But if Caleb Love, starts catching fire, watch out, and that's how Arizona beats Duke.
We'll see, though, because Caleb Love's going to have to guard Proctor, I believe, and Proctor is going to keep him busy on the other side of the floor. So I think it's going to be a great game. But Duke has looked by far the best. I mean, with the exception of the first maybe 8 minutes against Baylor, and they were still up like 1 or 2. After that, they put the pedal to the metal. Oh, they put the fuck to him. I have absolute put the fuck to him. Yeah. But when we're looking at games tomorrow, you have Florida against Maryland. Florida 7-point favorite against Maryland. We'll see how Florida does. They look so good for the first 15 minutes of that first game. I mean, oh my God. The kid there, what's his name? I forget his name, but he was shooting the three.
Forward, yeah.
The guard. God, I had his name there. But anyways, he was on fire, and then he kind of faded away. Auburn didn't look great the first game, and they didn't cover the 30 whatever the fuck. They ended up winning by like 24, 23. Auburn hasn't looked great. The SEC teams, the top two, Bama, Florida, kind of struggled a little bit. Kentucky should be a hell of a game on Friday night. 2 SEC teams going at it. I think that's the 2 and the 3.
Yep.
I believe. And Kentucky's beat them twice already. I was talking to Eddie Money before this. Tennessee's lost twice to Kentucky. He's favored by 4. We know how hard it is to beat a good team twice. Kentucky's going to have to do it 3 times.
Yeah.
Try
And
and beat this
Tennessee,
Tennessee.
Tennessee were heavy favorites when Kentucky,
when Kentucky beat them the last time.
yeah,
And then Arkansas. So SEC had 14 teams in. They have 7 of the last 16.
crazy.
The most they can have is 6 because they have 2 facing off against each other. They
Crazy.
might have another one. Auburn might be. I don't know who Auburn's playing, but Alabama, Ole Miss. I can. Who's Oregon playing? I mean, if we want to pull up the games real quick, we can kind of go through them real quick. Eddie Money, if you want.
Yeah,
Just kind of-
Oregon lost to Arizona.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You have Arizona, Duke. You have Arkansas and Texas Tech. That's tomorrow night also.
Yeah, Arkansas is
good, too.
Arkansas and Ole Miss, the only 2 real underdogs in the tournament. No Cinderella story this year.
This is
Yeah.
a classic Calipari. John Calipari always, because usually has young teams, right? Always gets his team better as the season goes on.
100%.
And he's been so good at that. And no one saw Arkansas doing this. What is your strategy, Rafa? We are the gambling show of record. Do you continue to parlay favorite money lines? I mean, the money lines are going to be
that's what everyone's doing. The money lines aren't that big in this round because a lot of the lines are 7, 6, 5, 8. So that's what a lot of guys are doing that this weekend, especially for the second round games, and now and then into this round. And if we look at Duke, Duke's the biggest favorite for, I believe, is 9.
I saw 9.
You have Florida at 7. So and the BYU, by the way, BYU's looked impressive. They beat a good Wisconsin team. Wisconsin battled back in that game, but they gave BYU a good head start. So and a lot of people didn't believe in BYU, and they got Alabama tomorrow. Alabama looked a lot better in that second game.
Yeah.
Alabama's one of those teams, man. Sears, super experienced Sears captain. He can lead that team. He reminds me a lot of Jalen Brunson. Small guy like that. Just a big heart, big spirit. That dude, I think he can lead Alabama. I think he can lead Alabama to a dub against BYU. But you got to be careful with BYU. I mean, a very good team, very good coach team.
Yes.
So
Team full of soakers over there.
Yeah. Sexually frustrated for sure.
Yeah, Bama's a 4.5-point favorite in that game. So and you watch the total in this game. I mean, BYU and Wisconsin put up 180 combined. The total sits at 175.5 for this game. So and Bama put up 90 the first game, 80 the second game. Wisconsin put up 91 the second game and 80 the first. BYU 80 the first game and 91 the second game.
Alabama was one of the first or second leading scoring teams in college all year. They could fill it up for sure.
Yeah, they can fill it up. I like Bama to win that game, but I think it's going to be a tight game. I think it's going to be a tight game. And if it gets tight down in that second half, within the last 8 or 9 minutes, that's where you might struggle to get to that big total.
Let us know in the comments, everyone. Let us know in the comments who you have winning this thing, or at least your Final Four. I actually had BYU coming up and winning this round.
Let me check my bracket and see what I had.
So I'm gonna give you my picks for tomorrow. So I'm gonna go kind of chalk. I'm gonna Alabama, Florida. I'm gonna go Duke, but I'm gonna go with John Calipari and Arkansas. And they're getting 6.5 right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that Arkansas battle tested team. And they beat St. John, the number 2 seed last weekend. But I'm going to go Arkansas here. I'm going to go coach. I'm going to go, experience. They battled all year long in that tough SEC. So I'm going to go Arkansas with the 6.5. So I'm going to take Arkansas, Duke. I like Florida and I like Bama. I don't know if Bama covers that 4.5 though. I think it's going to be a tight game, close game, maybe come down to a Sears jumper late to kind of seal that deal. But I'm going to go chalk almost. I'm going to go Bama, Florida, Duke, and Arkansas for tomorrow night.
What about Tennessee? I had Tennessee. I think Tennessee is going to be in the Final Four, man.
Well,
I had Tennessee and Duke.
So let's go Friday night. We got Ole Miss against Michigan State, another SEC team. Will they get up and down against this Michigan State team. And Michigan State struggled in that game against New Mexico, and they struggled the
Let's
first half.
score.
And they struggled the first half of the first game. They came out, obviously, they're playing a 15 seed in that opener. They struggled in that first half, opened the game up the first 5 or 6 minutes of the second half. I like Arkansas and I mean Ole Miss here, and Ole Miss getting 3.5. So I'm going to take Ole Miss, and I'd lean towards the under in this one a little bit. Michigan State struggles to score the basketball.
But they play defense.
You're
going to get that from Tom Izzo, man. They're going to play defense.
Yeah, I'm going to go Ole Miss, though. I'm taking SEC right here. I'm riding with the SEC here. I'm going to go Ole Miss against Michigan State plus 3.5. Then you have Kentucky and Tennessee. Now, I mentioned this a couple minutes ago. Tennessee has lost twice to Kentucky this year. So, I mean, 2 losses. It's hard to beat a good team twice. Imagine now 3 times. Can Kentucky beat Tennessee again? And I don't think they can. I don't think they can. I hope they do, because I'm part of the Blue Bloods, and Kentucky's part of the Blue Bloods, right? So I hope they do, but I doubt it. I think Tennessee wins that game. Michigan and Auburn. Michigan doesn't impress me like at all. I'm sorry, they don't. And Auburn.
Everyone had them going out early. Everyone had them going out early.
They had them going out early. I like Auburn there, and then Houston against Purdue. There's no better team on defense, and they didn't show it too much against the Zags for the latter part of that game. Yeah. But dude, I mean, Sampson's defense, that Houston defense, they play defense for 40 fucking minutes and 30 seconds on every possession. I mean, they play defense. They can rebound the ball on both sides of the court.
Yeah.
I like Houston. I like Houston to beat Purdue. I like Houston to beat Purdue. I think easily. That's what I believe. I think, and Houston's let me down in the past, but they have.
Also let down Mattress Mac.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. But I like the way they play defense, man. I suffocating defense is what they play. So and I don't think Purdue's, if we look at it, they're probably the worst team playing on Friday night. I think if we're looking at all the teams from Friday night. So but I think Houston, man, I'm looking at Houston. I think they can clamp them down. And they're favored by 7.5, by the way. Lined open at 8, it's 7.5 now. I think Houston beats them by double digits.
They've been the number 1 defensive team in the country for almost the whole year. This is what I love. So, sort of the rules of March Madness are this. You need a good backcourt, right? You need good guards, and you go with a great coach. Because more than anything, and this is why I enjoy college basketball, the coach's personality reflects on how the team plays. Like, you can get a Calvin Sampson, you can get a Tom Izzo, and you know what you're going to get, right? You're going to get hardcore defense. Even offensively, if you go with the teams with high scoring, that's why you usually go with good backcourt and great coach. And this is why I really enjoy college basketball, because NBA, it's about stars, right? And coaches are just there not doing much. I'm sorry. That's just how it feels. In college, the coach's personality shows on how they play basketball. Rick Pitino, for teams to full court press for 40, it's like, you'll never see that in the NBA, because you can't get an NBA basketball player to do that.
No.
But you will get that in college basketball. You will get guys committed to defense. And it's not the sexiest thing, but I still enjoy it.
Yeah, and Houston's definitely committed to playing some defense.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, yes, sir.
What else we got, Mang?
I think that's pretty much
just
it.
about everything, unless you guys have anything else.
I think.
You know what? I did want to talk about something, and this will be our last topic. And Rafa had talked about this, and I had thought about this, and I guess I forget. I'll Kick Your Coverage, Travis, whatever, talked about this. But the transfer portal is the death the absolute death of Cinderellas. And I know you had the thought, Rafa. I had the thought. I forget John Broome from Auburn, not an Auburn guy. You look at all these stars now at these big Auburn, SEC, just name a team, except for probably Duke. You go now and recruit guys that have proven they can play in conferences, and you just go and start cherry picking right there. So you're not going to have the Drakes. You're not going to have the George Masons. You're not going to have the University of Chicago or because those guys, usually when those guys had made runs, you're talking about teams and players that had played with each other for 4 and 5 years, that had chemistry. That is no longer going to happen. Is this going to be? I mean, let's be honest. March Madness kind of sucked. No buzzer beaters except for
Maryland. Maryland.
Yeah, Maryland and New Mexico, right? No higher than an 11 seed to move on.
10.
Like this is what
11 the next day, 10 for this week.
Okay.
And the 10 is Arkansas. So in reality, it's still a Power 5 school.
Yeah.
And I had thought about this weekend, and I was like, maybe I'll do a show on it. But then, I figured if we're not going to get it out, there was no point in doing it. And sure enough, Clay Travis talked about it. He mentioned that, and that's basically what it is you're going to get all these guys, and it's the same. We're going to see the same thing in college football. They're going to go and get these guys that are playing. So they're pulling these guys already. And you see already, for example, the head coach from Drake, he came last year from a Division II. I think they won the national title. He brought a bunch of those guys over to Drake. Well, he just got the job at Iowa, and he took the best player that he brought from last year, took him to Drake, and now he's moving to Iowa with the head coach. So next year, that's another team that now you can see, well, now Drake's probably going to falter, and we won't see Drake past probably the first or second round. And you're going to keep seeing that, and it's easier for these guys. It's easier for a head coach, Tom, is any head coach in college to watch a guy play for whatever, George Washington, George Mason, whoever, Lehigh, whoever, any one of those schools. Yeah. And George Washington University is a university, Eddie Money. Just so
I know, but just not hearing the university part threw me off for some reason.
All right. But you're going to see guys from those schools, and you're going to see guys, they played well in their tournament, but they didn't make the tournament or whatever. And they're going to pick them off. And now, like Eddie said, you're not going to get those teams like Oakland or St. Peter's that has had a roster that's played together for 3 years or 2 years and now going on their third or whatever. We're not going to get that. So I think we're not going to get too many Cinderellas going forward from here on out. I really believe it.
But here's the thing, Rafa. This is another blow to listen. The regular season didn't matter, right? No one watches college basketball till March. I mean, very few gamblers do, but there's no interest. 80s, 90s, you knew, the Admiral was at Navy. You knew Earl the Pearl at Syracuse, Ronnie Cycli, Coleman. You can go on and on. Guys were there for 4 years, and you knew there was stars in college. Patrick Ewing. It goes on and on.
Alonzo Mourning. I mean, list is endless.
Yeah.
And so on. Yeah.
Okay, but here's my point. This is another blow to college basketball. And I heard something today. I can't remember, and it clicked, right? And I thought, this is kind of a cool idea. Will it ever happen? I'm not sure. But these kids that are getting, NIL deals, if we're gonna morph college athletics into pro style athletics, which we are now have entered, right? I mean, that's a fact of life. Why not hold these contracts? Why not say we're recruiting you? This is your deal. You have a 2-year to 3-year contract.
100%. You're 100% fucking right on that.
Right?
Wow.
Like I feel like this is the solution to keep kids. You want the money? We'll give you the money. But now you want to be a pro. You want to get paid. You should be held accountable. You signed a contract. We're giving you money. You
I
just
think the
can't
2 years-
jump from school to school.
I think 2 years would be the right number, right? Like if
Yeah.
you have to
For
stay
when you commit to somewhere. In
let's
high
say
school,
let's
2 years.
let's take Cooper Flag, for example, right? We know he's going to go to the draft, right? So let's say a player like that, Cooper Flag, you know what, we're going to give you whatever. Duke says we're going to give you $2 million. I don't know what the exact number was. We're using examples here, right?
Yeah.
All right, Cooper, we're going to give you $2 million, but you got to stay for 2 years unless you go to the NBA draft. If you go to the NBA draft, then the deal's fine. You got what you got, and that's it. But if you don't hold for the 2 years, and after a year at Duke, you want to go to North Carolina, you want to go to Arizona, you want to go to Florida, whatever, then you owe us some of that money. That's what it should be. And Eddie's 100% right. Because that way, the guy's not coming in to Duke or Florida or in football to Oregon or Alabama or Ohio State or USC, going there, taking $2-3 million, doesn't get to play or doesn't play well. And then it's like, fuck it, I'm going to Georgia or I'm going to whatever, SMU or whatever. And now he just took $3 million from you or $2 million from you. And I think Eddie's 100% right.
Put it into perspective, Rafa. Imagine a guy signing a 3-year contract with the New York Giants, didn't like that, he only played so many snaps, and be like, yeah, I'm done. I'm going somewhere else.
Yeah, you're right.
You're
You
want to
100%
be
right here.
You want to be like the big boys? You want to get paid? Then hold your, what's the thing in Jerry Maguire? My word is strong as oak. These kids are taking money, shaking hands, and then bouncing when they don't like their situation.
Yeah,
And
they should live up to at least
yes.
At least 2 years, right? Because you don't want to, a kid 3 years, 4 years, whatever, because you may sit for, you don't want to do that either, right? Because at the end of the day, the $2 million that they're giving you, or $3 million, or even $1 million, whatever, that's not going to set you up for life, right? So,
Yeah.
And the end goal is obviously to play. But if you come in as an 18-year-old kid and you're coming into, let's say, Ohio State football, and you don't like it after a year because you're not playing, you're going to bounce with the $1 million Ohio State gave you. And then you're going to go and take money from Texas or from whoever. And you're 100% right. I agree with you 1,000,000%. Will they ever do it? Who knows? But they should. They should do it, because and all the NCAA and all the commissioners from all the conferences should get together, and they should all come to an agreement.
I got a question, since you guys brought that up. If you're going to bring up contracts, so does that bring in the idea of trading? So instead of transfer portal, it's trading a player and their contract, or restructuring contracts?
No, you don't need to do that, because there's no salary cap. So you don't need it. It's not like you're dealing with a salary cap, and the NIL money is coming from, from Milwaukee's Best or fucking, whatever. Bo
Jangles. What if like the restructure is in terms of performance? Like, let's say that you
no, you can't do that.
They'll never go for that.
No, they'll never go for that.
I'm just asking questions.
This is the easiest way to protect the school who's giving up that money, and that's coming from a booster for wherever it's coming from, right?
Yeah.
That's the easiest way to protect the school from it. And at the end of the day, it kind of is holding some of these kids like accountable for something.
Yes.
Like you're signing, you're 18 years old, you're a fucking grown, you're an adult.
Yeah.
You're at 18 years old, you're allowed to vote. So you're an adult at 18 years old, and you're going on and you're going to go to USC and take $750,000 from USC. And after 5 weeks that the season started, they're redshirting you because you're not playing or whatever. And now you're pissed at Lincoln Riley, and you're going to go on and play at Fresno State or whatever, because Fresno State's going to throw you a bag of $1 million from whoever, right? So, and you're not holding them accountable, and we see it in college football. I mean, Bear Bryant, what the fuck? He's played for 3 schools in 4 years, right? I mean, that's the thing. You have to hold them accountable, because at the end of the day, you're not harming you're not harming them. It's building something in them. Like, hey, I agreeing to this, and it's kind of like manning them up a little bit, growing them. It's growing. It's something to help them grow as well. Like, my word means something. That's what it is. And at the end of the day, right now, I'm 18 years old. I take money from here. Fuck it. I don't like it after 6 weeks of the season started. I'm not playing. fuck it, I'm going to look for something else. So, and I think to be honest with you, I think the bowl games for college football would be a lot better because you know that this guy, I just picked him up. He's not fucking not playing in my bowl game because he's in the portal. He's not, because I know that he's on my roster for at least one more year. And I think it'll make the product a lot better.
Matthew Rush just said it's like financial aid. You can't just transfer and get your finances transferred as well. You also can't sell a house and transfer the mortgage to the new house.
Yeah, no, he's right. That no transferring is fine. It's just being held accountable for what you're agreeing to. You're agreeing to go to this university for whatever amount of time. I think you should agree, and there should be, if you're taking money, I think you should be accountable for 2 years of service, basically, to that school, whether you play or not, because they're paying you based on your ability. They're paying you based on your future abilities, right? And that's what they're giving you for. And Eddie's 100% right. They should be held accountable for at least 2 seasons. That way, and it'll help a lot better. It'll be a lot better for the kid in the long run, because he's committing to something, and his word will actually mean something.
Yeah.
And you're not bouncing around.
Did you see Cowherd and his whole stance on Cooper Flag? It's starting to become a thing, which I think is absolutely ridiculous and hilarious.
I don't watch that
guy. That Cooper loves Duke so much,
bro,
that he's might come back.
Listen, like, Kyrie loved Duke. Kyrie loved Duke. Elton Brand loved Duke. And listen, everybody loves Duke. Everybody loves North Carolina. Everybody loves the school they're at until they understand that they are one of the 10 picks in the NBA draft. And some motherfuckers love it so much that it doesn't matter if they're one of the 30 picks, they're leaving. Nobody loves a school that much when you have a chance to play in the highest league that your sport has, and you are one of the best players to come out. In Cooper Flag's case, he's arguably number 1, number 2, or number 3 in this draft. And you'd be stupid if you didn't take him at number 1. Oh. Okay, so imagine a number 1 pick. I mean, he's a white American. He's the great white hope.
Oh,
he's the great 100. He's the next coming of Larry Bird. If he stays healthy, he to me is a Larry Bird type of player, able to pass the ball, can rebound the ball, can shoot the ball. Yeah. Obviously, we're talking about Larry Bird, one of the 8 greatest players of all time, right? That to me is Cooper Flag's ceiling. That to me, when I see him, and not only because he's white, it's because he can do everything on the court as LeBron James can do, and he's white. That's the part, the Larry Bird part. Because I said LeBron, but LeBron at that age was a better passer and rebounder. But Cooper's phenomenal. And I think whoever drafts him, you are getting the great white hope wherever he goes. I mean, it wouldn't shock me if somehow
the Bulls are trying their best.
Oh, the Bulls are, I think, in the playoffs. But I wouldn't doubt it if somehow they
not the Bulls, not the Bulls. I forget what team is just completely not putting their starters out there. Like it's a full tank job.
Oh, there's a handful of those teams, but I mean, but yes, Cowherd coming out. I mean, Cowherd's the white Stephen A. Smith. Like he throws shit out there just so people can listen to his stupid shit. You remember the Ben Simmons take? I mean, listen, it's stupid. But nobody's staying. Oh, you can love the university, but if you can go to the highest level of your sport at one of the 3, 4, 5, 10 picks, whatever, you're leaving. And nobody's staying. Nobody's staying. Like, it's just not
Matthew Roach just said he's going to be traveling with a foreign and models blowing up his phone. No way he wants to stay in Cameron to be attending the library with a bunch of Asian geeks.
I love it. Matt's 100% right.
Yeah.
It's 100%.
And he knows he lives near Raleigh.
Yeah. So 100% right. Great. By the way, Eddie, that was a phenomenal take on that NIL. That was fucking amazing. That's the best shit you've ever said.
Well, it just
the best shit you've ever said. That's the best thing you've ever said.
Because
after 127 episodes, Eddie's finally talking himself.
The best fucking take you've ever had is that right there.
It needs to happen. College basketball has been suffering for so long.
I think it should happen for football as well.
Yeah. Well, at least in football, you have to stay for 3 years after. So that's why college football is so popular because you get to know a
player.
Jackson Smith or these kids. We don't know anybody. We don't know anybody except for Cooper Flagg and John Broome. Who else do you know in college basketball? If you're just nobody,
because he's been there forever.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sears from Alabama, Cryer from Houston, because they've
Yeah.
been there. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, before it was different. When we were younger, you're right. Patrick Ewing and Akeem Olajuwon and Alonzo Mourning, Grant Hill, Bobby Hurley, Vince Carter, Antoine Jameson, Michael Jordan, James Worthy, Sam Perkins, like all those guys, because they stayed for 2-3 years, obviously.
Yeah. So
But
we just
Great
helped you out, NCAA. We just helped you out.
Great take to end episode 127 off, Eddie.
phenomenal,
All right,
Eddie.
man.
Phenomenal. That belongs on the Mount Rushmore of great
Of
takes.
takes. Oh.
Great takes.
Yeah,
I mean,
that sits alone up there by
I
itself.
thought about it all day. Like, how about live up to a fucking contract.
Great fucking take, Eddie. Phenomenal.
Well, that is 127. Thank you guys for Will. I'm glad you got your package. Matt, thank you for joining us. Ricky, Zach, we love you guys.
And No Fly Zone. Boomtown, too. Thank you all for coming in.
Yeah,
supporting.
safe travels. We love you guys. We'll see you guys next Wednesday.
Next week.
All right,
Mhm,
man.
mhm.
Any last words, Eddie
Let's
Money?
play some fucking golf.
Let's play some golf, baby. Here we go. 99 coming tomorrow. All right, guys.
See ya.
Love you guys. See you later.
Later, fellas.